In the late 90s, Toyota introduced the first ever petrol hybrid car in its brand, and that is the Toyota Prius. Now, the Toyota Prius rose into significant fame due to how efficient it was. However, who would have thought that Toyota would introduce the hybrid system in the Yaris? For a long time, in the B segment of the automotive industry, the Toyota Yaris was always the most reliable B segment car in its class. However, as much as it was very reliable, it was also one of the most boring cars to own and to drive. Well, guess what? Toyota has done it successfully, and here it is, guys, the Toyota Yaris Hybrid. This is a petrol hybrid Toyota Yaris, and guys, by the sound of it, it is actually amazing. You see, this is going to be no ordinary Toyota Yaris. I tell you guys this right now, because judging by the looks, this Toyota Yaris has set the birth of something completely different. The only thing it has in common with its previous generation is that it is reliable. And this time, this reliability comes with a bit of style. Now that is amazing in my opinion. The Toyota Yaris Hybrid starts at a price of 17,000 euros. However, this Toyota Yaris costs 29,000 euros. Is this good value for money or not? We are going to determine this in a moment, everyone. Let's get down with this review right now. I'd like to start by talking about the exterior design of this Toyota Yaris. I have to say, the front is very impressive. I really like the design of the front. A bit of identity I see right here. This looks like a typical front I've seen on previous generations of the Yaris. It particularly reminds me of the Toyota Yaris of the 2000s. I'm not sure which model it was exactly, but I remember that Yaris very well. But yes, this is the front design. I'm very impressed. I really like the style of the lighting. And for some reason, they have this pattern, which looks like carbon fiber for some reason. Interesting. It's not carbon fiber, but it does give a nice effect nonetheless. I like how you have the body paint right here, and then within the grille it's all in black. Very interesting. Almost gives it a two-tone effect in some senses. And also you have the black trim right here instead of hard plastic, which is very nice. I also like how the bonnet has two ridges onto it right here on both sides. Now that is interesting, and it's also very good because it's good for the airflow. It's aerodynamic in that sense. This is a two-tone alloy wheel. I really like the design. It's a 5-spoke, or 5 spokes that are split each, right here. I like how it's black in the middle, and then you have the silver alloy on top. Not your plug-in recharge, everyone. It's all done automatically with the brakes. Yes, a bit of hybrid patriotism right here. This is to remind you that this Toyota Yaris is indeed hybrid. And also, this is the side design of the Toyota Yaris, and it looks very interesting actually. I like how they've taken a round edge approach. So over here, you have this round edge, although there's a straight line that's barely notable, but it's right there. It starts from the light and it goes all the way towards the rear, and then eventually that straight line blends with the design, so you don't notice it afterwards. And over here at the rear, it's just round edge. Very nice. This is the rear design of the Toyota Yaris, and I have to say there is some form of identity with the rear lights of the Yaris. It's very interesting. Like when I saw this rear design, it reminds me of a model they used to do before, and I'm not sure if it was a Yaris. It wasn't a Yaris indeed. It was a sporty model. I don't know the name of that model, everyone, but I know it was something Toyota once did before, and I think they still do it. Now this is absolutely nothing like every other Toyota Yaris I've ever seen, guys. This is something very, very special, and I love it. Just look at it. You have to admire it. And I personally admire it, especially in the white color. You can see the black trim very easily, and that's something I also like. Although it, in my personal opinion, I prefer silver, red, or maybe blue. I'm not sure which color pairs better, but I think this color pairs also great with this Toyota Yaris. Another thing I have to point out is that I'm very impressed with how this part of the rear is almost horizontal, guys. I mean, look at it. It is almost horizontal right here, and I really like this. This has to be the first time I see this on a B segment car. It gives it a sort of sedan vibe to it, and I really like this. Now, it's also worth mentioning that this Toyota Yaris has a two-tone color to it. So it's got the body color, but then it's also got the black tone on top. So if you look at the roof, it's in black, and then also the wing mirror is in black. And another part to mention is that instead of chrome or instead of plastic or rubber, they put this whole thing in black as well. Do you notice that the roof has a wavy effect, right? Actually, Toyota doesn't do it for the aesthetics. Toyota does it to improve the fuel economy. Everyone, I was absolutely stunned by the design of this Toyota Yaris. I absolutely loved it. However, upon exploring the exterior, I also noticed some questionable aspects about the design. Whilst exploring the exterior of this Toyota Yaris, I also noticed some questionable aspects about it, despite appreciating how good it was. The first questionable aspect I would like to point out is there's this bit of plastic right here that appears to have no purpose whatsoever. I don't know why it's there. I mean, in terms of aesthetics, it looks very nice to look at. From a distance, it looks like it has its own identity, and that is something I can respect. However, upon closer inspection, it doesn't look like it serves any purpose, unless it's a sensor or something. I'm not very certain, everyone. Top half of the grille is actually just plastic. It's not an air intake. There's no actual air intake here, so it's a bit questionable in my opinion. This design is very appealing aesthetically speaking. I also like how you have the fog lights right there. However, it is styled in such a way as if it was meant to be an air vent right here. First of all, this is not an air vent, although it has the style of one. It's got no purpose whatsoever. It's just plastic. It's just plastic here, guys. So yes, I mean, the only purpose it has is that it has a fog lamp right there, but that's it. I am very impressed that you get front parking sensors. That's very good. However, for a price of 29,000 euros for a B segment car, I don't see any front parking camera. Now that is something a bit questionable in my opinion, although I'm not sure if B segment cars generally come with front parking cameras. Rear camera, which is very good, I respect that. However, the position of the rear camera is what I find a bit questionable. I think it's a bit conspicuous putting it there. It's as if it was an afterthought. It would have been better if the rear camera was more blended with the design, like somewhere non-conspicuous, like within the badge maybe, or within the black part of the trim. Before going into the interior of this Toyota Yaris, I would first like to talk about the door handle. I have to say the feel is quite good. However, I don't know if I'm supposed to see this as a bit questionable. Like, this whole thing moves when you open the door. And yes, I don't know if it's questionable or not. In my opinion, it's just selective taste. I prefer if it was split, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. And also you get keyless entry, so that's a bit premium in my opinion. Oh yes, how nice, everyone. Upon opening this door, I already see a prominent form of identity which I never thought Toyota would have thought of doing. And here it is, guys. This is a form of identity. This is very good, everyone. And I think I seem to recall seeing this design on the Toyota Yaris of the 2000s. I'm not very sure, guys. But whenever I see this design, the first thing that pops in my mind is the 2000s. So this is the interior of the Toyota Yaris. And I have to say, I am actually very much stunned by how good it is, guys. I mean, this is far more interesting than the last generation Toyota Yaris. I first of all have to say I'm impressed with the equipment in the interior and also the vast amount of storage space everywhere. You got a storage space here, you get the glove box, you get, well, this is a wireless recharge pad for your telephone. However, it can double as a storage if you want to. So over here you have the climate controls. very nice. I like how everything is nicely laid out in this fashion. It's very good, organized. You get heated seats, and then also you get the infotainment system right here. And sound enthusiasts, you guys get a JBL sound system. Now that sounds amazing. Guys, I absolutely love the design of this steering wheel. It looks very good. Look at it, guys. And the feel is very pleasant. I really like the feel of it. Very good. I'm impressed. And you get this piano black trim onto the steering wheel. Quite pleasant. And so over here you get the cruise controls. And over here you get the media controls. It's two cup holders that are of fixed sizes. And they're down there. And also you get this nice armrest over here for extra comfort. And as I've stated, it doubles as extra storage. It's like a central storage console, which is quite a pleasant thing, especially for a B segment car. Although for a price of 29,000 euros, this is a must, okay? Oh wow, I love those seats, guys. I mean, look at it. The kind of fabric they used on those seats is amazing. So over here it's leather. And over here, I'm not sure what fabric they used, but whatever it is, I like the styling of it. Oh wow, I absolutely love this bit of trim right here, guys. Now this makes it look ever so premium in some senses. And this trim is right here as well. Look at it. It splits the hard plastic with the fabric right here. I also like those air vents, very nice. I like this piano black that surrounds it, and the piano black is quite prominent in this interior. It's right here, it's also right there onto the infotainment system. So these are your window buttons, and I'm not sure if they're automated. I cannot tell, it's not very clear. But what is clear is that you get your center lock button right there, and you get the mirror controls right here. Over there you get a 12-volt socket. And over here you get your USB connection. If you thought this Toyota Yaris was not premium enough, well, check this out. You get a driving mode right here. Now this has to be the most interesting instrument cluster I've ever seen, guys. I mean, look at it. It looks like goggles. It's very stylish in its own ways. I actually can respect that. You get some lighting up here, very good, and then another bit of piano black that surrounds it. Quite nice. And you get this wonderful mirror to see how pretty you are. Oh, and speaking of how pretty you are, what's even more prettier is that this light ons automatically when you pull this open. Check this out. So I'm gonna close it, and it offs automatically. Now I open it, and it ons automatically. Now, I absolutely love the feel of this door handle, guys. I mean, look at it. It's so comfortable, and you can even lean your arm here nice. Well, you can't lean your arm completely here. I mean, you'll be... because there's this bit of the interior that obstructs the arm length. So, you know, when I'm leaning my arm here, I have to put my arm here maybe, or maybe here. I'm not sure, guys. But whichever I feel, you know, whatever I think of it, I think it's just good. Oh, finally a brand that gives a proper hood latch. I mean, look at this, guys. You get a proper latch for the hood right there. Whilst exploring the interior of this Toyota Yaris, I have to say I was very impressed, okay? But at the same time, I noticed some reoccurring flaws. And the reoccurring flaws I've noticed is that for a price of 29,000 euros, I'm under the impression it's a bit under-equipped. And an example would be the presence of hard plastic right here. For some reason, there's no chrome at the end of those window buttons. There's nothing. Those window buttons are plastic, and also there's just prominent plastic over here. I don't feel any squidgy leather, any squidgy plastic, nothing. Although there's fabric here, so that's fine. And then also, for some reason, over here you get squidgy plastic, which is good. But over here, it's just hard plastic, which is something I find a bit odd, but okay. Another flaw I've already noticed also is that this is a storage that has no protection whatsoever. So there's no way you can prevent things from falling out unless you have gravity on your side. Another aspect I found a bit odd is that the storage spaces in this interior are quite limited. Like the center console was very small, but that's expected for a B segment car. However, most B segment cars would have a compensation, and that is a huge glove box storage. However, this doesn't appear to be the case for this Toyota Yaris. This Toyota Yaris has quite a a shallow glove box in my opinion. So you get climate control. Now I'm gonna ask you all a question. Do you all know where the heated steering wheel button is? Yeah, well, you all are probably thinking it should be here or it should be onto the steering wheel. Wrong. It's actually all the way right there. Now that is a very questionable in my opinion. Like, why did they put the heated steering wheel button right there, isolated, far away from all the climate controls? And also another part I found a bit questionable is that you have the traction button right next to the driving mode and the EV mode. So yes, I'm not sure what they were intended for, guys, but for a price of 29,000 euros, let alone a B segment car, I really wonder what more could have been added. In terms of storage, there are many things that can fit in there. That's very good. But in terms of practicality, like how easy it is for the driver to reach, it can be very annoying, especially when the door is closed. It can be difficult for the driver to reach it because the driver has to bend his wrist a lot. So yes, every time the driver wants to reach something that's buried inwards, the driver has to open the door and then only they can reach what's in there. Another part I found a bit questionable about the Toyota Yaris is that for a price of 29,000 euros, you don't get electric seating adjustment, you just get manual seating adjustment. Now, manual seating adjustment is quite common for B segment cars, but for a price of 29,000 euros, I would have expected a bit more. But again, selective taste, everyone. For some reason, Toyota has put the fuel cap latch all the way down there. I wonder what is the point of it, having it all the way down there when you could have put it as one of the buttons right here. It's I don't know if I'm supposed to find this questionable. So let's move to the rear seat of this Toyota Yaris. Guys, I have to say I'm impressed with how cozy it feels. The seating is quite cozy. It's not so firm like a bench, so that's good. I have a lot of leg room. My knee room is decent. That's average for a B segment car. And I also have a lot of headroom, guys. Check this out. Now that is quite good. Over here you get the handle for the rear seat and also the nice coat hook right there. Now that is actually quite good. However, there's no lighting for the rear seat, everyone. And for some reason, this rear seat gets no backseat pocket, but that one does. Another questionable aspect is that there's no function here whatsoever. No air vent, no climate control, no 12-volt socket, no USB connection. Okay, And the door is rather basic if you think about it, because the door bin is only big for a small water bottle, but there's nothing much that can fit in there except you can store some things in there. Okay, fair enough. But I'm not sure, maybe it looks average for a B segment car. Otherwise you get this as that doubles as a door handle. And yes, that's all I can say really. Now let's explore you get a nice beacon of hope, but that's it. There's no 12-volt socket, no tether point. After all, I guess reliability is all that matters, isn't it? Here's my conclusion about the Toyota Yaris. Does it have everything it takes to beat its previous generations? I think it does. Hands down, everyone. This has to be one of the first times Toyota plays identity right here in the design. Is this Toyota Yaris good value for money or not? Well, for a price of 29,000 euros, I think the hybrid technology does most of the talking, and so does the reliability. Reliability is guaranteed and unquestionable. However, yes, maybe some equipment on board, who knows? It's of selective taste. Some things were missing, it seems, but it doesn't matter. As soon as you see the economic value of this Toyota Yaris, you are going to forget about every questionable aspect. So, you want my opinion of this Toyota Yaris? Oh, I love this Toyota Yaris. Guys, I love this car. This car is very cool, and think about it. For the first time ever, a B segment car, so reliable and at the same time very economic. That sounds like a dream come true in my opinion. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go city cruising.